everyone, welcome back to Pommy and Oz. Hope we're all doing really well. If you're new around here, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Can't thank you enough for the support. We're well in the way now. I've just taken a delivery, so all this backdrop's going. We're moving about 5 metres forward, so it's going to look really funky. We've got some really exciting things to go behind me, so stay tuned for that. We've got the old stuff, but we've also got a new centrepiece display. We're going to be doing a lot of streaming coming up this year as well. We're really going to focus on that live engagement content that I know you enjoy, but I also really enjoy as well. So we're getting it all kitted out for that. So it looks aesthetic. If you're going to be sat watching me 30 minutes plus, you need something else to look at other than myself. So welcome. If you are a member of the channel, you help fund do the big redevelopments we're doing. So you can do that. We've got members live streams. We've got a very special guest. You've got 3 this month. To catch up. So you've had one just gone. That was really fun. We talked a lot. We had a real good chat. So it's a real good community vibe. Not just football. We try and get to know each other and have a good crack and a bit of a focus and a bit more chilled out and relaxed. So if you want to do that, links in the description. What we're doing today, Carlton versus Melbourne, the final practice game before the real stuff kicks off. And we've got some teams, haven't we? As you can see, Carlton went pretty bold, it has to be said. Got Boyd, Lewis Young, Sard, Kemp, Mitch McGovern, Nick Newman as the backline. Cottrell, Cripps, Hollands. Mark Pitternet returns Adam Cherrett and Doc with Connors, Charlie Curnow, Blake Acres, Alazio, Harry and Jesse Motlop as the forwards. And a very strong interchange bench. Our first chance to see Alex Pomcotter, favourite of ours, George Hewitt, Elijah Hollands. Can he back up last week? TDK, Lockie Fogarty, Jackson Binns finally gets a game, along with Billy the Whiz Wilson. Looking forward to seeing my mate, our new Pom and Oz friend there. Also Lockie Cowan, Ashton Moore, who we've talked ever so much about. Harry Lemmy, he gets his chance. Matty Kennedy finally comes into the side and we get to see him. And Jackie Carroll. And obviously, we're not long away now, are we? So what I've done is I've broken this video down into the 5 key points that I'm looking for. We will be live for this game, so come and join me for that if you aren't going. It is going to be grossly, grossly hot. So let's get straight into it. So the first point that I wanted to raise was, how's that backline makeup? Now, on paper, when there is no Marchbank, when there is no Whittaker, and you could argue it looks weaker, I don't see it, because I think when I look at other backlines, they usually have one, hate the term, but world-class defender surrounded by very good job doers. And as long as you've got that ability to break out of the back half of the ground, you're all hunky-dory. Now, Lewis Young gives me Harry Maguire vibes. And I've said this about United for a lot, just to digress to my native game. And that is, it's a very confidence issue. Like, he's not overnight a bad defender. Do you know what I mean? People have got to remember that. I remember watching the Doggies going into the finals, and he was stiff to get dropped. And in some of the games, he was very strong, and it allowed them to get there. It was only because the players that were returning had so many credits to the bank. Also, look at his first year, very strong, and we were quite happy with it. So this is a real confidence issue. So I don't want to get on his back, really, because if I get on his back and make it worse, God knows what Danaher and players like that are going to do to him if we do that. So I'm really intrigued to see that opportunity for Lewis Young, because I do think you do need a little bit of natural height. I'm not a big fan of this height argument because, do you know what I mean? Stephen May ain't the biggest bear out there, but he gets the job done with his ability and his workability. So that's where I look at Brodie Kemp. Brodie Kemp here, if it's just Brodie Kemp, I feel like Lewis Young has to play. I feel like the question is, does Wazze like this? Is he going to drop? He's always played 3 taller than the average bear players. Brodie Kemp, for me, I think has got an incredible opportunity, because at the end of the day, Lewis Young is going to be the main target. He's going to be attacking that target. What Kemp has got to do here is look across the field at Stephen May. And genuinely, when you look at Melbourne, you look and you go, okay, Jake Lever ain't massive. Stephen May ain't massive. They used to play Petty there. It's going to be Tomlinson's going to be that extra tall there. They roam and really attack the ball hard, which plays into point 2 of this, Carlton's ball movement out the back half. And that is something that I feel like Kemp, the week just gone, he looked really susceptible to try and move the ball forward. It felt like he lost a bit. Now, is that something that Carlton, just because they've got no leaders down there, like you look at that, I would hope Nick Newman and Mitch McGovern are very good leaders, particularly Nick Newman. Is that an idea that you swing him down? It's going to be interesting because I thought it wasn't the height that killed Carlton and the ball coming in airily. It was when the ball hit the deck, and that's why I'm very intrigued to see Pom Cotter being here. That's his specialist there. And when I looked at that, I thought, well, Nick Newman, he didn't have a great day doing it, to be fair. Adam Sarr didn't have a great day doing the ground ball gets. And it's not really Jordan Boyd's niche, where Chincotta is that guy that is rugged and doesn't mind getting that being his priority in his drop. So I think that setup there is very intriguing, particularly the second point we're talking about, moving the ball out of the back half. That is going to be really intriguing because we know that when Lewis Young swap him for Whittaker in, we know he's a good user, we know he's quick, we know he's looking to make the targets work. It's a very dangerous backline. So I think that it depends what way you look at it. Yes, the personnel, it's lacking Jacob Whittaker, and that's a big loss. But when you look at the backline, it's very conducive for counter-punching. And that is what Carlton have been evidently working on in the pre-season. It was evident last week as well that movement is the mantra, and it's beating the forward press by using pace and trying to break lines. So for me, that is incredibly important and something that I'm really looking forward to, and we'll be keeping a keen eye throughout while we're live. Up next, pinch hitting in the middle of the park. This has been the bugbear of mine with the football club for what feels like a millennia, it has to be said. And that is having options there. You get these horrible phrases, one-paced, slow, arduous. But the truth of the matter is, when you actually calculate these guys with the ball in hand, without the ball, you are talking very minimum changes in midfield quartets. Very minimal, like probably so minimal that you wouldn't notice. But the big difference between the quick ones and the slow ones is the pace in which the ball exits there, how it moves there. The ball moves faster than a man. I was always taught that as a young kid, and that is very important. And what I really did enjoy last week was they had these options. Connors floated there. Ollie Hollands came into there. Do you know what I mean? Jesse Motlop attended a few centre bounces. That is really integral to me when I watch Carlton play, of having them different little modes and them different methods of getting it out there. What that does is it means that you can match up truly on anyone and not hide behind the fact that we're such a strong contested side. And that is probably the bugbear with the media, and it's probably where the conception goes that Carlton are. I really enjoyed how they flipped as well. Traditionally, Carlton hold a very defensive player at the back, try and slow it down. This week, just gone, they look to be a bit more attacking in that position and make direct runs. That was really evident with Ollie Hollands, Adam Chera and Elijah when he went into there looking to make that direct run and break it open, and it created chances because they weren't used to it. So that is going to be something that I'm really looking for, because that is our strength. If we can make that one wood a better one wood, we have got a huge chance. Link up play in the forward half of the ground. This was something that I could see they were trying, and it worked really successfully the first quarter. It went off the boil in the middle stages, and then it got better, and this was really evident. Usually they hide behind J Sauce and Jack Martin's wonderful ability to work up the ground and take the mark. They've had to get a bit more inventive, one of them. And Connors did this job really well. He really did. I really enjoyed Elijah's work up the ground, up to the halfway point, and being that extra kick, and then Orazio or Jesse Motlop working up to 50. So Carlton had a deeper launch. We did see at the early parts of the game, Carlton started to trial a little bit more of a shallower entry around 50 to isolate Harry a bit more up the ground, which I think plays into his kicking. And then Kerner and Fantasia or Motlop made them pocket runs, and that really did create it, because it creates different angles at goal. And that is one thing that with Carlton, when you watch us play, when we're playing at our best, the one bugbear I've got is the kicks are from the same place all the time. We have a very one-dimensional entry inside 50, and the great teams have many ways that they can do it. Port Adelaide are a really good component of this. The way that they switch very early compared to other teams in the piece of their passages of play and the patterns of their ball movement. And that was something that was really different about Carlton this week. Just gone, it was their patterns of ball movement. And number 5, this is a really big one for me, and it was really over-exaggerating. I got the opportunity to speak to someone at the club, and they did confirm to me that that was an over-exaggeration, and that was defending the corridor. I would say Carlton are probably up there with the worst sides in the league at defending the corridor, and I'll prove it. How many times, if you've done a watch-along, am I 5 minutes in, not another goal through the middle? They really did emphasise that, and they kind of played like almost like, I'm going to use a really untechnical term, but it was almost like a vase shape, if you saw. And before Carlton try and funnel you out to the wing, kind of like in a V shape, it's kind of more like a vase where it peels off towards their goal side, which made it slower to exit D50, but also allowed Carlton to put little traps in. And one of the little traps which did work early doors was Adam Sard and Mitch McGovern waiting for that. It's got to come central. If they can get the kick to about 70 out from our goal, just past halfway, that kick is going to be shallow. And that's where Adam Sard and Mitch McGovern really look to do it. And this is very akin to, if you remember when Whittaker went off against Collingwood a couple of years ago, we really emphasised this trap Carlton laid because they lacked the natural intercept ability. So I'm expecting here, this game, them not to defend the corridor for 100% of the game because that was suicide. As you saw, Geelong just went wide, 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 wide and picked it up. But Carlton really focused on that. I'm expecting to see something we're naturally good at, and that is defending the wing. Come in and see that. And I'm looking to see how that plays because if Carlton can stop that quick turnover through the inside of the ground, we're going to be very hard to beat. But it also allows a very quick score launch and transition. And that's been my big argument with Carlton. People say, oh, Carlton don't transition well. Look at how we set up and defend. It's a very slow, arduous process. We really make you commit men against us because we are so good at defending. So it creates a congestion. Carlton here are trying to implement a way that teams will go risky like we do with 3 or 4 players and get caught on the overlap. And that's just a systematic approach. So I'm really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to this one, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait for it. So let me know what you're looking for. Peace, love and light. And until next time, Pom out.
I see her rolling up, Uber black Cadillac, high heel boots and a sexy body full of tats. Baby's bad, oh baby's hella bad.